So I'm going to share my screen so that we are able to move as intended. But one thing that I need is total cooperation. The moment you don't participate in these classes, be it physical, be it virtual, you will never understand the gist of these courses and every detail, because I must have informed your class before that the time we have is not enough, and maybe will never be enough, even if you go to Cambridge University, even if you go to Oxford, everywhere. Normally, the time, that is why lectures are a bit different from teaching. Here, I'm supposed to even just come, like now I give a topic like introduction to information systems project management. Then I can say, maybe, Faith, please go on and research about this. And so it is all about doing this and that. Then I said, Davis, for you, you will handle this part, that is lecturing. But because, excuse me, it is more and more of student-centered. You are the person in the lead position. So that is why I'm saying now, this time, even when I'm the one leading, ensure you participate to the maximum. I'm not going, and I cannot for sure speak for hours. Yes, even if I was even if I was not sick, but I cannot be the same person. Oh, one person is speaking for hours throughout. No, we need to have an engaged kind of session. We need to participate, because this is how you will work when you join an organization. You will be working with the people. So don't expect, excuse me, like people from maybe other departments to be the ones talking, and then for you are just at the receiving at the receiving side. You see, your participation helps you a lot, because sometimes, okay, I can actually even give here maybe a definition or something, but then you realize that maybe the way you have interpreted it is not actually the real interpretation of that context. Yet when you come up and also give your own perception, there is a way how we conclude by finding a consensus that works best. You see, and there are even some areas where you may have even much knowledge, you get. So here I'm just leading, and I encourage you that every time we meet here for the session, be it physical, be it online, I don't want you even to consider me as your lecturer, but I want you to consider me as a colleague that you work with. This will help us very, very well. Yeah, because a colleague that you work with, you are always free to tell them, to discuss anything, So I want us to be colleagues in a class. And then, yes, the relationship of lecturer to student can be that is outside our sessions. But here we need to have that kind of relationship. Yeah. Now, like I told you before, information systems project management, as you hear the term information systems project management, here we are basically looking at how can we manage information system projects. Now, before even we go to project management, what is information systems? Before even you go to information systems, what is information? Because you need to understand this. Yes, allow me to just read someone's chat briefly, because okay, thank you, Faith, for that. Yeah, now information systems project management, like I was saying, like we are Basically, being that we are in third year, we are preparing ourselves. How do we use now the knowledge that we have acquired in maybe principles of programming, object-oriented programming, like AI, every kind of course that we may come up a project in. Actually, you're even going to do what we call final year projects. That is next same, I guess. Now, all those projects, most of them, they are information system projects. Now, we are here to know, how do you manage such a project? One day you can be attached to a certain organization, and then something comes up whereby now you need to do what? You need to work on it. Of recent, yes, previously you never had or lectures on Moodle, but then due to COVID, then yes, Moodle became quite more engaging, whereby there was no option. Like I have requested, I want you to fully participate. Help me and help yourself. Now, what I want to know is, since we are going to study, like I must have told you in case you heard last time, is me, what I concentrate much on is understanding, not rushing and finishing everything, because I believe once you understand, even if you understand the basics, for example, now once you understand exactly what information systems project management is, like, the rest can be something easy that you can even do on your own, So our concentration will be much on understanding. Now I need to know from you. I need to know from you before even we proceed. Before even we proceed, why do you think an organization, we can even use a case study of Umo. Why do you think Umo had to introduce Moodle? Okay, what you call, I think you call it Moodle still. Yes. I guess everyone, when I talk about Moodle, you know what I'm talking about, that learning management system. Yes, of course, there are so many. We have Sakai, there is Canvas, there is Edmodo. I mean, they are quite many. Yeah. So each university uses their preferred learning management system. But now I'm just asking, why do you think the university had to adopt Moodle as one of the learning platforms? Or why do you think the university had to use Zivasity? You get? Oh, why do you think government had to bring uh, national ID? And of recent, I'm even hearing about KCCA also registering border users. Why do you think all such stuff happens? Okay, what I need to put in your mind is that, what causes or what factors influence an organization, an individual to initiate a project? Why and why organizations initiate projects? Why would an organization start a project? That is what I want to hear from you. You can even just type. Yes, I need to hear from each and every member. It is a must. I need to hear from each and every member. Someone who does not participate here, you're regarded as someone who didn't attend the class. This is a small manageable group that I think I can utilize and maximally benefit. So I don't want to have passive listeners here. Yes, keep sending in your what? Sending in your responses as we continue. We are going to get back to that. Yes. Let me just. Okay. information systems projects. Excuse me. Okay, I was just using Moodle as the what? As the example, you get. But I can still even relate it to actually, let me take at least, yes, most of you people are from Uganda and most of you are Africans. You know, in Africa there is culture. Now, in the same way, you know, at the moment we are going to define a project and you're going to see that it relates to what I'm going to say. Why do you think the Gisus, people from Bugisu, normally do what? Handle that cultural event called the Mbaru. Yes, you get. Then, yes, I've given quite a number of examples like the NIRA, the National ID registration, our model. Now I'm also talking about that. Why do you think they always run that kind of cultural event? Okay. Faith, okay. Faith says to monitor the ongoing programs. So you mean Faith, let me use an example of what? Moodle. You mean before Moodle came to UMU, we were not monitoring the ongoing programs? So what I mean is try to adjust a bit. Then Talunga says to make work easy for all users. Okay, somehow, but not exactly what I need. Online course development is another submission from Jasper. Then, okay, so far, those are the members. Then also David says probably for a record keeping, just like a Moodle, every course until you got enrolled is still there in the archives. Okay. I want us to be critical thinkers. Sorry, you never know. Maybe even my question may not have been clear to some people. That is why I said, yes, we need to hear from each other. Then I get to know whether the way I perceive is the way you also do what? Perceive this. Because my question is at why would you think government had to immunize people? Yes, of COVID-19, because it was a project. Let us first do something small here, then we come back to that. Maybe it can add more and more. Are you able to see my screen? Let me hope I'm sharing it actually. Now, in our course, we are going to look at what a project is, then also what project management means. How do project management, or how does project management relate to other what disciplines? Then how about the career outlook for project managers in information technology? Now, according to you, who can at least tell us how you understand when someone talks about a project? What is a project in your perspective? Who can give something? How do you, when someone talks of a project? Because you in the past, you must have learned courses like information systems before, and you know what information system is. Now, from information system, it is where we learn about information, then systems. Yes, information, normally we are referring to processed what? Processed data in brief. Then when we talk about a system, we are basically looking at the collection of interrelated components to achieve a common goal. Quote my words very well. Not every collection of components can make what we call a system, no. But only and only those components which are related. Those are the ones that can form what we call a system. Yeah, that is why we define a system as a set of interrelated components working together to achieve a common what? Common goal. Yes, the way how you can see that a monitor cannot do much without connecting it to the systems unit. But if you have a systems unit that does not have like maybe a hard disk within it or SSD or any storage mechanism, it becomes hard for it to do what? To basically run the OS and also retrieve data and store, you get. But so here we are looking at set of related components working together to achieve a what? Common goal, that is system. Now, when we talk about a project, how do you understand a project? Excuse me. How do you understand a project? When someone says, you know what, I'm working on a project, or I have a project somewhere, what normally comes to mind? Just a second. As you submit your what? Your answers. Okay. Couch Amza says an enterprise planned to achieve particular aim. That is how he understands a project. Okay, thanks for that submission, Amza. You mean the rest have never heard of someone talking of a project, or like what normally comes to your mind when you hear someone talking of a project, really? Okay, then Elijah says, any task that must be completed to attain a certain outcome. Thanks for also that submission. Yeah, I think, yes, you have 40%. Kauchi, you got 30%. Jasper Dong says an individual or collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular objective. A project. An individual or collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular objective. Okay. Okay. And every time we are here, especially for virtual classes, I request we don't use maybe Google or whatsoever kind of source. But what we need to do is to have the ability to think on our own and say whatever comes to your mind, so it can help you to become a critical thinker, a problem solver. Every time you get something, at least you can easily find a solution. Yes, otherwise I appreciate Jasper, I appreciate Elijah and Amza. for doing what? For submitting regarding project. Now, let us go here. Okay. When we talk about a project, listen carefully. Help me listen carefully. Then, okay. Kalunga says a sequence of tasks planned by one or more people to come up with a certain gain. Okay, that is also okay. Some 45%. Okay. Now, when we talk of a project, listen carefully. In this sense, we are talking about a temporary endeavor undertaken to accomplish a unique product or service. This definition is something that was passed and verified by a body. Yes, you know, in information systems, IT, computer science, there are bodies that govern some kind of the way how you see IEEE governs networking, you know, and so on. The standards and the procedures. Now, when I say a temporary endeavor undertaken to achieve a unique product or service, when I say a temporary endeavor undertaken, meaning this task is temporary, meaning that it has the start date and the end date. It is not something that is going to stay forever. No, a project is a task that you do when it has the start date and a well-defined date. It is what? A project you get. But in doing so, you are aiming to achieve a unique product or service you get. Yes, it is there temporarily. You are not going to do it forever. You get. Yeah, that is why, like, even your final year projects are also projects because you do them maybe in 3 months. Yeah, and then you present your proposals, present then the real what? The real project, then the report, and it is done. You get. So, uh, Faith, thanks also for the submission. So I want you, every time you hear a word, a project, that is why you see, you always hear that, you know, on Masaka Road, there is a project of a road construction, meaning that they are going to construct that road starting at a certain time and ending at, because it is temporary. It has the start date and end date, but at the end of the result, yes, they are saying we need to have 3-layer Tamaka road. You get. So yes, whereby now in this sense, we are going to have different people whom we call the stakeholders. You get. Later in our discussions, you will see and understand well what stakeholders are on a project. But majorly, these are people who are affected by the activities of the project. When I use the word affect, I don't mean only negative affection, but also there are positive what? Effects. You get. So that is a project. Let me hope at least you people have tried to understood. Now, if you have understood, can I hear some of the examples? Okay, before even we go to that, we have even other definitions or other descriptions of a project. We say a project requires the resources from various areas to achieve their unique what? Purposes. Now, the resources, when we talk in project management, what I want you to understand is when we talk about resources, we don't talk about only maybe hardware and software, but we talk about whichever component that contributes to the success of this project. For example, we talk about now the developers you get. Now, those are the people. You talk about the hardware you're going to use, talk about the software you get. They must be sure, showed effectively to meet project and other what? Corporate goals. So a project should have a primary sponsor or a customer. You get? Yes, in most cases, projects have what we call sponsors or product owners in the context of agile methodology. Agile call them product owners under their framework called Scrum. You get? Yes. Now, a project should have, yes, a customer in most cases. For example, even like the road, normally you see when the government is going to construct the road, they always put up the signpost showing road construction. The name of the project may be Mpiji Masaka Highway. Then they can put the contractor, then they put the sponsor, then, such things, because it is a project. So project sponsor usually provides the direction and funding for the what? For the project, because they are the ones who should know, okay, that, okay, the funds we have can only maybe use the to tarmac 1,000 kilometers on this road, things of that kind. So, and when you are doing so, we don't want you maybe to do 4 layers or 3 layers of the road, but do this. So, like, as you remember, it is government that initiated the NIRA, whereby now they produced our national IDs. So it is the sponsor, as you see here, the project sponsor now usually provides the direction. That is why now government came up and said we can only give or issue national IDs to people are above the age of a certain group. You know very well. You don't find people in primary having national IDs, but of course, of recent, they have also been, they have started on the process of assigning them the NINI what? NINI numbers. Yes. So that is it. These are, then let us first go back to the question I raised in the chat. Why do you think companies, organizations, individuals start projects? Why do you think? Based on the discussion I've just made, I needed to hear from you afresh. Why do you think organizations, individuals, companies initiate or start projects? That is a very clear question. I will not allow to leave you when you have not gained what you need to gain when it comes to information systems project management. I myself am a project manager, a certified project manager, and when it comes to project management, I practice it. So you are in right hands. I would wish at least by the end of the course, this course or this semester, at least when we have people who can properly manage information system projects. So the only way I can easily achieve this is to engage you people. So now I want to know from you, why do you think companies, organizations, government entities, initiate or start projects? We have Amza. Amza gave us a very perfect answer, which is worth 80%. And actually, what we are discussing is not in the notes, but like I told you last time, make sure every time we meet, because now, like based on the words and the discussion we've had is more than even 10 slides, but you see we are just on slide number 4. So what we are actually discussing right now, trust me, it is examinable, you get, but it is not in our slides. Yes, but Amza said that a company, government, individuals, an NGO can start a project when there is a need. But why did I give him 80%? Because The proper word would be when in IT, the needs, we don't call them that way, but we consider them as problems. Whenever there is a problem, it calls for what? A solution. That is the need. You get. So even in what, in civil engineering, when the road becomes unpassable, full of loopholes and so on, potholes, then it is obvious that the government will do what? Start the project to construct that what? That road. Initially, we had the people killing the people here in Uganda by making appointments with them. Then they abduct them. Then they started registering what? SIM cards, you get, because there was a problem. So one of the factors or one of the points that can force an organization, an entity, or someone is to have a problem. Where when there is a problem, then this calls for the start of a project. You see, initially, before COVID came, we were studying normal at UMU, coming, meetings, so and so. But now, when the social distance came, lockdown, yet studies had to continue, then we had to adopt Moodle. A project had to be started because there was a problem. I don't know whether I'm making some sense. I don't want you to make me overspeak, overtalk on obvious issues. Where you don't understand, please feel free to put a chat or something where you need clarification, anything you get. So we need to continue. Now, that is point number one, when there is a problem. Then, Jasper said, for social need, maybe in the same line. Then Elijah says, to achieve a strategic goal. Okay, now to achieve a strategic goal, for example, I'm thinking he meant that the organizations normally have strategic goals. An organization can be there and say, you know what, we need by 2025 to have this in place. But now, how do we achieve it? By starting what? A project, which is sometimes like maybe we don't need, we need all maybe people in Uganda to be vaccinated, meaning there is a what? There is a problem or something. So then Tarunga comes back and says to make sure that they handle the difficulties and make solutions for them to attain desired profits. Very good. When there is a problem, you can have a supermarket and you are the owner, but you don't sit there. But every time you realize things are not balancing, meaning that in that case, you need what we call point of sales system that can help you to track sales and the stock you get, so that things don't run out of the supermarket without your knowledge and so on. So you see that there is that what? There is, all of your submissions are still in one, like now they are still in one line of a problem. Then Faith says to do something better, offer a better service to customers, or even introduce something new. Okay, this is also very good, but in the same line of a problem, because you see, Faith, if like we have a system which is registering maybe users to take our service, or let us say that maybe we as UMO, people can even apply and study online. But now if people continue complaining that, you know what, the online application system does not allow us to attach our what, our documents like a senior 4 and senior 6 what results, that means there is a problem. So when you say to do something better or offer better service, so meaning that yes, we are improving, meaning there is a problem. We don't improve where there is no what, there is no problem. Odong comes back and says legal requirement, perfect answer before even I read the details. You see, sometimes organizations may be reluctant to change or adopt new technology or start a project, but government can put a policy. this legal requirement, depending on the industry you are working, new regulations might be by the government or agencies. Okay. Now, like of recent, I see that every school is registering to get what they call emis numbers, you get. So now, you see, sometimes an organization can be there, but when they are not interested in any change, but then when a directive comes, you get, yes, when a directive comes from the authorities, then you have no option. Government can say, you know what, every student at the university, but actually this is according to National Council, which is also, it is a legal requirement to all what? To all, um, to all higher institutions of learning. Yes, for each and every person to have a unique number that identifies them from the rest. So meaning that, you know, sometimes you can start a project not as a result of your own wish, but as a result of a directive, whereby now National Council says that, you know what, all universities must have blended kind of teaching, you get. Meaning that if there is a university that never had online kind of approach before, they have no option now but to start a project that will enable them handle both physical and virtual classes. Very good. Those are 2 points majorly that we have so far done what? Gotten. Is there anything that we have not yet talked about that can also lead to the what? To the initiation of a project? Okay, maybe. Tarunga says to display how effective this particular organization can offer service or products to its users, customers. To display how effective this particular organization can offer service or products to its users. Okay, yeah, that is improving, meaning that whatever we improve, now we consider it as something that has turned into like a problem. Now we want to improve. Yes, but then another factor that can lead to the start of a project we can talk of is opportunity. Yes, you see, sometimes you are just there, but now actually let me use your case as students. Google comes up and says, you know what? Oh, even World Health Organization comes up and says, you know what? We need someone who can develop an app that can predict the outbreak of Ebola. You get, and the winner will of course move away, walk away with maybe 1M US dollars. You see that now you're going to start a project because there is an opportunity. You get, yeah. So some projects can be initiated, can be started as a result of what? Opportunities. Government can say that, you know what, every time, oh, whichever organization that will have this kind of maybe project, we shall help them to facilitate this, to do this, you know. So you realize that it is an opportunity that you wanted to do what? To take on, then you can start a what? You can start a project. Otherwise, thanks for the contribution. Yes. Then attributes of a project, we have things like a project must be unique in nature, and it must have a purpose. It must have the start and end date. Then it also must have what we call resources. Then often from various areas should have a primary sponsor or customer, like those that we have been talking about. You know, it must also involve uncertainties, as we shall see. Now this one, I would want that you go through These are just cases that I included here that you can study on your own, but maybe we can go through this one together. Yeah, this is the this one is an online medical services appointment system. So making the appointment with a PCP or specialist doctor is normally via the phone call. So even though e-commerce and many other online services are prevailing, such a service in a medical area has never been done yet. With there was such a system. This system would have allowed the patients to check the availability of a doctor or any other medical service from the internet. Making and changing the appointment would be some of other services that they would do. So this is a promising system in several ways. It will greatly make the appointment convenient, can be connected to other networked medical information services such as medical insurance. It will also benefit the medical service providers, much in saving costs and improving service quality. There are several issues. Who will initialize the project? Who should be involved? Who is to be targeted buyer of the system? How this system can be cooperated with other medical information system. Now, I want to get answers for these questions from your side. Who will initialize the project? Let us first submit for that first question. Who will initialize the project? Just submit whatever you think is the right answer. Who will initialize this kind of project, the online medical services appointment system? I need to hear from all of you. Who will initialize? Such a project. We can have various what? Various people sponsoring or initializing this project. Yeah, some can be internal, some can be even external. You see, a government can say, you know what, all hospitals must have an online medical service appointment system, meaning that for you, when you want to open up a medical facility, you go to the maybe National Drug Authority, or you go to, Ministry of Health. One of the requirements they will ask is what is the online medical meaning it is now a directive, and then you have to initialize the project. And for that matter, yes, it is like you people have said, yeah, like maybe IT manager of the hospital can initialize it, or basically the hospital owners. Then who should be involved? Who should be involved in this when you are coming up with this project? Whom do you think should be involved in this case?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Can you kindly give us like 5 minutes, because you've been disorganized? We're in the lab and have told us to move away. So we are trying to find another class to go to.
Okay,
Why we are quiet.
Let me share our screen again. And thanks for that. But okay, when we say who should be involved, now in this case, we are talking about the stakeholders. Yeah, now stakeholders, like I told you, these are people who are affected by the activities of the what? Of the project. So now in such a project, when we say who could be some of the stakeholders in your view, who could be some of the stakeholders in that kind of system, online medical service appointment system? Who are the stakeholders? People who are directly or indirectly affected by the activities of the project. Who are some of those in the online medical service appointment system? You said you're back, but I'm not getting anything from you, meaning that you're not yet stable. Excuse me. Hospital directors, very good, from Coach Amza. That is a perfect one. Hospital directors are some of the what? And he said hospital directors, then even doctors, perfect. Oh, those are perfect answers. Oh, those are stakeholders. Faith says doctors, okay, yeah. Doctors are also stakeholders, very good. Um, who else? Who else? Yeah, because you see, doctors, meaning that yes, they have to check for appointment in this system and get to know, okay, how many patients are tied to me, for which service and so on. Then yes, David says what of nurses? Yes, yeah, that is the same category of doctors. Very good. Nurses are also, yeah, because they have to use the system so that they get to know, okay, how many people to work on today and for which service specifically, because someone can have an appointment with this with you, but maybe you need to know, is the appointment for general checkup, is the appointment for maybe antenatal or something. Then Promise says a very perfect answer. Patients, yes, patients, because remember it is an online, appointment system, meaning that yes, it is the patients to do what? To book appointments. Very good. Then medical personnel, yes, like the doctors, yeah, like how your colleagues have said before. That is very good. Yeah, thanks for those submissions. We can proceed. At least now I know, yes, we are in the right track. This is another case study that I would recommend that when you get some time, you do what? You go through as well. Let me first show you an example of I have a system I'm working on, which has part of this online medical service appointment system. It is not majorly purely only on that, but part of its fun or futures is that. Let me hope you can see my screen. Now, this is a dental solution used by dental practitioners or facilities to manage their activities. But now I have different modules where this is of course just the dashboard. I have like section for doctors, then I have a section for front office, section for patients, section for calendar, section for, these are different modules, billing, then human resource and the configurations. So, but then, yeah, when we need to create appointments, yes, you come to the front office, because in big facilities, it is the front office person who can do what? Who can create appointments. That is in case a user or a patient did not create appointment and is physically at the facility wanting to see the what? The doctor. But initially it is supposed to be, there is another one that I'm trying to work on, which is not yet complete, where patients themselves are supposed to do what? To create appointments from the patient's portal, then those appointments appears here. So like when you come to create appointment, then when you was only that it has a lot of data that it may take long to load. So just it's taking long.